Hi everyone, how's it going? Today I'm going to do a green and gold eyeshadow look, and it is inspired by the very going on trend of green everywhere. There's green everywhere. I love the color. I think it makes our skin look so bronzed and it brings out all the gold tones in our skin tone. So sorry about that. Bobbi Brown eye cream and what is this? The face base, also by Bobbi Brown, is what I'm going to do for my skincare. So what I'm doing here is I'm also trying to make a reel. I think it's high time I'm like full on Instagram too, because I've not been doing like any Instagram stuff. And I'm just gonna apply this all over my face. Okay, so I've done my skincare. I'm just going to let this sit in for 15 minutes. Alright, I zoomed you in a bit, and for foundation, I'm going to use this Hourglass foundation stick, and my shade is Warm Honey. And what I'm going to do is just take it on this brush and just start oops. Oh. Well, never mind. And I'll just start applying it wherever I sort of need a little bit of coverage. Usually I have like some redness here, and around my cheek is where I have a lot of uneven skin tone. Sometimes I feel like this foundation is a little too warm for me, because like, I don't know if you can see, but it's like quite yellow for my skin. So then what I usually like to do is just bring it down the neck and across the chest a bit. Okay, I'm done with foundation, and I actually got some across my chest because at least on camera or on my screen, it just looked like I was two different people, like neck up and, you know, chest below. You know this step. Corrector, I need it. People with dark circles need it. You need it if you want it. It's going around. So next up for me is concealer, and I'm just going to use my usual ones because they work for me, and if they're doing the job, then I won't stop using them. So it sat for a bit, and I'm just tapping this with this brush. Another good brush for blending out concealer is actually this A19 brush from the Morphe and Ariel collaboration, because of this nice flat brush here. So all you have to do is just like kind of lay it down flat on the skin, and I'm only tapping it. I'm not dragging it. And it's just like lets the concealer spread really nice and evenly. And even if something has kind of like gone into your fine lines, you can literally just like bring it upwards this way, so that you ensure that when you set it, there's no creasing. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the highlight shade right here, right here. And this I'll just blend out with the brush that I used before. This is just to bring like a slight amount of brightness into the look. Usually for this part, I bring back this brush and I just like to, you know, go all over, you know, this little triangle here, like just kind of spread it in that bit. And if you have like a broader nose, you can kind of bring this, let me show you a trick. You just spread this how I want first, and with whatever's left on the brush, you can just bring this down the nose here, just like on the sides of your nostril, and it'll actually help pinch your nose in a little bit. Now before anything starts creasing, I'll just start setting my face, but I will have to go in with the brush again. But let me just show you how I prepped my powder puff. Now this is the powder. It has like these little holes all over. Turn it upside down, and I'm gonna lift this and just wiggle this so that all the powder is sort of evenly distributed into the puff. I'll just check the eyes once more to make sure there's no creasing. I'm just going to press this into the area that I set. So you can even go into areas like your forehead here. I want the skin to be comparatively matte in this makeup look, so I'm just pressing this I'm quite happy with the skin, and just to kind of go all over the face, I'm using this Charlotte Tilbury powder in the shade number 2, and I'm just going all over to lightly just set the base. I'm doing a matte base after so long. I'm usually so used to glowy skin because my skin is dry and it generally is matte. So, you know, doing a matte base, it kind of feels refreshing. This is, you know, setting with a powder like this is great for humid climates. Anyway, next is contour, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand, and this is in the shade Fair Medium. And I'll just go in all these areas where I want to. I want to bring this really high. Also on my forehead a bit here. And this on my jaw. And I'll start to blend this out. This one blends really nice, and you can even actually use it on top of powders. Now just to clean up that contour, I'm just going in with these 2 shades. I'll put the shades down in the description because I don't remember it right now. I know this is banana, but I don't know what's that. And I'll just sort of, you know, go this way, sort of from the middle of the ear, and just bring it straight towards the corner of the mouth, so this way. It just really helps clean the contour a bit. And then just to darken up the contour a little bit, I'm just going in with this shade, which is Fawn. And I'll just, yeah, so just go over, you know, the darkest part, only a little bit on both the sides. I just took very little of that same shade, and I'm just going on the sides of my nose here just to bring, you know, just to make this rounded part a little more slimmer and straight. I'll also go under here. Okay, so I'm going to leave skin here because I'm not too sure about blush yet, because once I put on the color is when I'll kind of decide which sort of shade of pink should I go for. And I'm really not good at that as of yet. But what I'm going to do next is move on to eyes. So I'm going to start with the eyeshadow base that I always use. I always thought this eyeshadow base was something that might not work on my skin, mainly because of the fact that it's so pink, but it does cancel out, you know, all this pigmentation out really well. You can see how dark the inner corner of my eye is, like especially this one. You have to work fast with this a bit because it dries down a little too fast. And if it dries down, it might leave your skin looking a little patchy. Okay, so first, just for an all-over shade, I'm going to go with this shade from, this is the Mini Lila palette from Natasha Denona. And I'm going to use that all over the lid. The lash line all the way to the brow bone. I'm just once again going in with another actually eyeshadow base, taking it into my inner corner here on a fluffy brush. This will just help that green pop out a lot more. Now I'm going to take this palette and take this shade, which is B5, which is a nice beautiful green, and I'm going to apply that in, like, you know, a very halo eye shape. I'm going to take this A29 brush, dip it into that B5. So I place this here. I want to look straight forward while doing this. And one thing to make sure is try not to come in between where your iris is. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. And what I'm going to do is just bring this, how do I say, just continue with this eyeshadow just above the crease. Like, so this is my crease, right above the crease. I'm also going to do the same thing on the outer corner of the eye, and I'm just going to pull this upwards. So just as I would a wing liner, you can watch my wing liner tutorial right here. That's how I created this shape, and I'm going to do the same thing on both the eyes. And I'm going onto the lid here. It's a bit of a difficult spot because of the bone and the skin. The skin goes in there and it becomes difficult for the color to sort of go into that spot. So I'm just going to take a clean blending brush now, and I'm just going to go over the edges just to clean them and soften them a bit. Now I'm going to start adding on to the intensity of the color, because as you can see it's so patchy and it looks really crappy right now. Just to brighten up the center of my lid, I'm going to take this shade called Midnight Cowboy from Urban Decay. Now I'm just going to go in with this beautiful green pencil from Urban Decay and just look at the amount of intensity that it's going to bring into this look. I'm only going to intensify like the inner and the outer corners mainly. And especially here where I just drew that little wing, I'll just blend that into the green so that it's not too evident. I'll do the same thing on my left eye. Lined my waterline with this, and now I'm going to go with that same B5 shade right under my eyes, under my lower lid, sorry. Now the fun part. Okay, I'm going to use this Stila, I'm going to write what it is down. It's actually glitter but in like a liquid form. And this I'm going to be placing in these little 2 empty spaces that I have. I'm going to be placing it there. Woohoo! Brows are done. Okay, what I am not happy about is this color in the center is a little too silvery for me. So I'm just going to go in with this highlighter that I have. It's kind of broken. But this is the highlighter from Dior. And I'm just going to pick it up with my finger and just press it on top of, you know, the lid, the center part, the halo bit. I'm so much more happy now. Okay, now we're finally going to move into eyeliner. Okay, for eyeliner, I'm just going to first tightline with this MAC pencil, and then I'm just going to go in with this Rimmel London liner in black. I'm going to keep the eyeliner very thin, and maybe I'm going to see if I want to wing it out or not. I'm going to move on to lashes. I'm going to see if I need false lashes, but I think I don't want them today. I'm not in the mood, but let's see. I'm just going to use this Makeup Forever powder under my eyes just for some additional coverage. So I have this tiny little NARS palette in which is this Laguna bronzer. I'm going to use that. And finally for blush, I'm actually going to take another bronzer by MAC. This is called Golden Rinse. And I'm just going to use this on the apples of my cheeks. This is like a, I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of luminous. And I hope it brings that luminosity into my skin. One final time, I'm just going to go with the same powder foundation and just sort of press this wherever I want, just to refine the texture of the skin a little bit. And this powder does it very well. Awesome. For lips, first I'm going to go in with my Patrick Ta liner, and this is in She's Bold. Then I'm just going to create a little bit of height here, you know, just on the top here with this Endless Cacao pencil. And the center of my lips, I'm just going to take this Berry Victoria shade from Charlotte Tilbury. And finally, I'll just hydrate with some setting spray. And this is the finished look. Let me know if you enjoyed it, if you learned something new, especially like using color, right? I think it's high time everyone starts using some color. Anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you like this, and stay tuned for the next video.